Hi guys, just me kind of pondering where we're at in the state of computers today, and I have to ask myself one question in particular. Is X99 truly dead? Is it dead and buried, or does it still have life? Let's take a look at a build that I kind of put together, and we'll discuss this a little bit and see what you guys think about it. Hey everybody, how you doing on this fine, wonderful weekend? It is the beginning of September 2017, and what are you doing today? Well, today I am kind of in a dreaming mood, so I saw something on Newegg that just really got me pumped up and excited, and that kind of got me depressed at the same time, because while I really don't have, extra money to build builds like I would really want to, when I see something, I really like to let people know about this. So I thought I'd put this video together. It's kind of like a fun, dream build sort of, but this is going to be for a very specific use case. What this is going to be is now, and I fully disclaim that yes, there are other options. There are always other options, okay? Right now, going into the fall of 2017, you absolutely can do better price-wise than this if you're willing to go away from Intel. The specific use case I'm talking about for this build right here is somebody who wants Intel, who does not want AMD for whatever reason, cannot afford X99 or Skylake-X, and wants more than 4 cores, and they want to buy it now. What I'm going to show you today may or may not be around for very long, so I'm going to put in some other types of parts for this dream build as well, so that way it can kind of give you a sense of where I'm kind of going with this and let you judge for yourself what will be the best system for you. What this is going to be is this is going to be an X99 build, and I realize that yes, Broadwell-E is an older generation. However, right now, the prices have come down to a point where, in my own opinion, if you really want Intel and you want more than 4 cores and you want to get it now and you can't afford Skylake-X, this may or may not work for you. So take this guide with a grain of salt, however big you like, but this is just kind of like a thing that I just wanted to show people what is possible at the beginning of September 2017. The thing that got me going was this, okay? This is an MSI X99 X-Power Gaming Titanium motherboard, okay? Right now, for the next 4 days, if you see here on the screen, this sucker right here is 35% off. Look at this monster of a motherboard. I mean, this thing has so many SATA ports, it has PCI expansion slots, it has room for all your quad channel memory for only 220 bucks. Boards like this usually cost well north of $300. The other thing that got me excited about this was, check this out. If you combo this with the 6800K Broadwell-E combined, this is only going to cost you $510. Okay? That's not a bad price considering where Broadwell-E used to be at the beginning of 2017. Now, granted, this is just my opinion. Everybody's going to have their own. I am always willing to be wrong. So if you have a differing opinion, by all means, let me know down in the comments. This is just kind of a, what if scenario. Okay? But when I saw this motherboard, I was like, whoa. This thing is awesome. Look at how much capability this board has. Now keep in mind, if you do shop after the next 4 days, the price of this is going to go back up. So if you're watching this, what do? What if you only want to spend this amount of money? Well, I'm glad you asked. We're going to show you that. Well, actually, first I'm going to show you what I found on Amazon. Right now, the 6800K on Amazon is 300 bucks. 6 cores, 12 threads. it will do a lot more than a 4-core 8-thread CPU will. Granted, it doesn't go up in megahertz as high as a 7700K or a Skylake-X or a Threadripper, but it may work for what you want to do it with. So pair that with this. This is also $220. This is the ASRock X99 motherboard. Check this out. This also has quad channel RAM. It has 3 PCI Express slots. It has all the SATA ports you could want. And this price right now is only $220. So whether you're shopping in the next 4 days or later, the price is roughly about the same. Okay, so keeping in mind that now the total cost of this build is going to be right around $1,800, $1,900. So just kind of give you a ballpark of where this is going to end up. So now that you have your motherboard and you have your CPU, what do you do next? Well, you got to cool the thing, right? I use this particular cooler on my 7700K build. I like it. It runs really well. It's Corsair. It's got the Corsair link. It runs nicely. It'll cool your system. $110 on Amazon, and this will install on a lot of different cases, and it's already proven that it will fit onto the I think it's the LGA 2011 socket that Broadwell-E does. So what's the next step? Well, you got to have memory, right? So keeping in mind that we're going with a black and white theme, if you go with the ASRock motherboard, okay, how about some of this? Right now, if you look on here, if you look right now, you can get it on Prime for $320. So that comes out to roughly 80 bucks a stick for 3200 megahertz RAM, DDR4, RAM for your system. I use G-Skill Trident RAM in my 7700K build, and I like it. It runs really, really well. So that's not a bad price, in my opinion. Now, granted, you may find some lower cost solutions. Corsair Vengeance LPX RAM runs very well. But I like G-Skill. I've had good luck with them so far, so I've just kind of stuck with them. Moving on from there, you're going to need a boot drive. This is actually the exact same drive that I use in my system. This is the Crucial MX300 525 gigabyte SATA drive. I first heard about this drive from watching Tech Deals with his 7700K $1,500 build. So I thought, why not go above the 250 gig one? Why not give yourself some extra headroom? Now, granted, you can go with a smaller hard drive. You can go with the 275 gig that you see here for $100. So if you want to shave about $56, $57 off the cost, by all means, if you don't think you need the space for your boot drive, there you go. You just knocked it down another $60. Great, solid boot drive. If you're not really concerned about really fast boot times, if you are, there are NVMe options. And I suggest you check around various channels to see which NVMe drive will work best for you. So let's figure out what we're going to go from there. What about your bulk storage? What you going to get started off with? This is another one that I've used in my own build. This is another one, like I said, I found it based on the build video series that I found over on Tech Deals. In fact, I'm just going to put a link in the video description down below to his $1,500 build that I got the inspiration for my 7700K build from when I built my system. So that way you can see a lot of the prices for the components that were used in my system. A lot of the prices will be here. When you go shopping, if you see a review that you like from your favorite YouTuber, a lot of the tech sites, a lot of the tech channels have affiliate links to Amazon, Newegg, other channels. Find the tech tuber that you want to support, use their affiliate links. It helps them out a huge bunch. I used affiliate links when I built my system, so I'm all in favor of, you know, keeping it going. So pay homage to your favorite tech tuber and use the affiliate links on their site, on their channel, and buy where it makes sense for you. So now we've got our CPU, our motherboard, our RAM, our cooler, our solid state drive, our hard drive. Something else that's missing. Well, actually, two things that are missing. Actually, three things now that I think about it. I'll have to put that in here in just a minute. Of course, you're going to need a power supply to power everything with. If you're only doing a modest power build for some video editing, rendering, gaming, and you're only using one graphics card, this power supply should power everything that you need. In fact, it may be a little bit much, but this is a really good bet in my opinion, and I've had it referred on other channels, so I will take their word for it. I don't have this exact power supply in my build, but this one's a nice system. This is the Corsair RM750X fully modular power supply, $120. And I forgot to put this in the total cost of the build, so it's probably going to be around closer to $2,000, just to kind of give you a heads up where this is going. So $120, fully modular, has all black cables, so you don't have that nasty ketchup and mustard coloring in your build, so it won't be detracting from anything. I've had good luck with Corsair. I like Corsair. They do good work based on just my limited experience. A lot of people recommend them as well, so I'm throwing it out there. You should as well. That's basically all there is to say about power supply. So there's two things left to do. What about your graphics card? If you don't want to spend all the money for a 1080 Ti, right now, this one's not incredibly bad given the cost and the reputation that goes with it. This is the EVGA GTX 1080 Superclock card. Right now going for $560. Granted, these should be going for a little bit lower, but you know, cryptocurrency is what it is. It's not as much as a 1080 Ti, but it's higher than a 1070. So look around to see what GTX 1080 works best for you and your budget and where you live. I like EVGA because of their customer service reputation, their warranty support, and they do really, really well, and they stand behind their graphics cards. I have a 1070 in my build. Now, keeping in mind, when I bought my 1070, it was $460, but that was when these things were far north of $600. So there you go. If you want more, and I've seen this on other channels too, so I'm just kind of throwing it in here. There you go. $729 right now. It is not an $800 graphics card. MSI GTX 1080 Ti. There you go. Not a bad deal at all. If you want the best of the best, this is going to beat Vega 64. If you want Vega 64, if you can find it, there you go. I have looked around on Amazon and Newegg, and quite honestly, I agree with other people. This card is right there where it needs to be price-wise. So now we've got all our stuff in a row. Now we need something to put it in. If you're going to be doing a lot of video rendering, you're going to need a lot of storage. If you want a case that has a decent amount of storage and be able to house everything and sit on your desk and look nice, well, here you go. This is the NZXT Noctis 450 mid-tower computer case. It's $108 right now. This thing will house 2 SSD drives, and it looks like let's see, we've got 6 hard drive spots over there on the side behind that panel. I probably should have bought this case when I did my build, because it has more options than the S340, which granted is a very good solid case. It's just limited on how many hard drives you can put into it without relying on an external enclosure. This will fit more drives than that. So $108 will fit everything. Now if you want to spend a little bit more and make your build look really cohesive and really nice, then you would get, let's get a good picture of it here. It costs a little bit more, but it's in glossy white. Now you put that with this motherboard, with this RAM. Yeah, that's gonna look really nice. So it is possible to still do, so it is still possible to do an X99 system. Again, I'm prefacing this if you want Intel, you don't want to buy Skylake-X, and you don't want to buy AMD. Again, this is a very specific use case scenario. So absolutely, if you have no brand loyalty, right now, Ryzen makes way better sense than even this. Because you can get a Ryzen 5 1600 for about $200, $210-ish. Throw it on a $100 motherboard, and you're already saving a ton of money, and you're getting 6 cores, 12 threads. This is just saying, if you don't want AMD and you're not willing to wait for Skylake-X. Now, Coffee Lake is coming out, and that's going to make things really interesting to see what their pricing structure is. But this is just what there is out there right now if you have to build it right this second. If you want to get onto it and get going building on it, there you go. Now, if you have an older system, older than a 1600K, and you don't want to spend a whole lot of money, if you only want to spend about $500, $510 total, and you want Intel. I'm always prefacing this by if you want Intel. If you have to have Intel, there you go. Because right now, the Skylake-X chips are quite a bit more than $300, truth be told. They are faster, but this may be enough. Again, this is just my opinion. Everybody's got opinions, just like everybody has other things. So what do you think? Do you think that I'm totally off my rocker thinking that this might be a good idea? Do you think I ought to just put the bottle away and just hop on over to AMD? Well, granted, truth be told, if I knew now what I knew back at the beginning of the year, I probably would have gone Ryzen. In fact, more than likely, very much more than likely, I probably would have been with a 1700 or 1700X, bar none. But when I saw this, I thought, well, what if? What if you did this? Well, this is what happens when you do this. You end up spending about $2,000. Now, granted, you can get cheaper cases. In fact, one of the other cases that I would really recommend, as far as still having a lot of hard drive space and still costing less than the Noctis, is the Fractal Design Define R5, because that one will hold, I believe, up to 8 hard drives and 2 SSDs in a mid-tower case. And it has the capability up on the top to mount the 240mm radiator. Now, granted, you're going to have to check with your motherboard to see what the clearance is going to be like with the RAM, but if it'll fit, then yeah, absolutely. I like the Fractal Design R5. In fact, I built my AMD A10-6800K in that case. Well, I did a case transfer to it from an older case that I had, because quite literally the case was like a budget Rosewood case that I didn't even think it was Rosewood, truth be told. I think it was it was a Logisys case. Very cheap case. Go with the quality case if at all possible, or at least don't buy anything that's like really like off the dirt floor if you can all help it. Get something nice. Besides, nowadays computers are more about form as low as function nowadays than they used to be, because back in the day, back when I was growing up, You know, when you saw a computer, they didn't have windows. In fact, they weren't even black. They were beige. They just sat underneath your desk, and they sat over off by themselves, and they just worked. I mean, you didn't really care about what they looked like. But nowadays, now everybody seems to want the really pretty stuff. So I guess that's the way we're going these days, which is not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing at all. So if you like this and you think this was informative, by all means, go ahead and smash that like button. It is right down there. One of these days I'll get my directions right. Like button's down there. If you haven't already and you want to, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Go ahead and smash it right over there. Don't let it know what it hit it. And I hope you enjoyed this. So until next time, as I always say, live a little random each day. And we'll catch you guys next time. Y'all have a great day.